Yo, what's good? It's C Trades with another banger from C Investments. We had a crazy trade. We had over 600% in profits, and we're gonna break that down. So let's look at the chart. What did we trade? We traded Nvidia. Nvidia was a monster today. It had over 6% or 7% down in the red. That is insane, right? In one day. Well, first, it's very clear to understand that we had a very technical analysis, book definition of what happened behind the scenes that we saw today in the market. So I'm going to break that down. Yesterday, we had an impulsive move that was ridiculous. There was no significant factor behind it. Yes, the Fed's released some good results that in September they're looking to cut rates, but that's not why Nvidia started pumping. Nvidia started pumping because of AMD earnings. And if we look at AMD now, let's point out AMD. That's an alert. Hold up. Watch list. If we go down and point at AMD, brother, AMD sold off. It pushed up, sold off, yet somehow Nvidia was still pushing, right? So it was overhyped. I don't know why that push happened. And today, AMD sold off even harder. So let's break down what we saw in Nvidia. We understood that behind the scenes, this was all manipulation. This was a big manipulated move. So what was coming? There was a big sell-off coming. What would be confirmation of that sell-off if we saw a sweep of these previous highs? You saw we retested them and rejected off them. On a 1 hour time frame, I was waiting for confirmation that showed me this was going to happen, right? So once we broke these lows, right, this hourly low, I got that first line of confirmation, and there was a fair value gap that it retraced into it, right? So right away there, I got my 3 things when I look at an entry. I saw my sweep, I saw a break of structure, making the fair value gap valid. It took the fair value gap and started taking it down low. So now this is where I get interested. Are we going to sweep these lows? Are we going to stay ranging? Where are we going to head, right? Once we broke these lows and we retraced back into a fair value gap, I realized what's going down in a lower time frame. We're seeing a beautiful textbook setup of what structure is. And here you can see it's super good, right? Super clear. You have highs, you have lows. You have lower highs, and you have lower lows. You have lower highs, and you have lower lows. You have lower highs, you have lower lows, right? So what's going to happen here? Lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. I'm interested. It's not breaking this. It's showing weakness. So at 10:54, I sent out my signal on the Discord, and I said, hey, we're shorting Nvidia. We're looking at out-of-the-money contracts with 1 day expiration. Our strike price was 109, where Nvidia closed today at 109, and our price of the contracts are at $0.45. We took those contracts and we ended up selling them at about $3 and I think 25 cents. I'd have to check. It was phenomenal, right? Over 600% in returns. It was crazy. It was amazing, right? But what led us there? After we saw confirmation on that bigger time frame, after we saw the 1 hour break off, right? On this third candle, when I saw this fair value gap did somewhat get respected and we're starting to see sellers push in, I'm going to get in it and I'm going to hold a tight stop of 5%. This up here where I have my stop at that break of structure was really where I would pull away, and it's a lot less than 5%. It's most likely like 3 or 2. Once we got in the trade, we were red maybe for a second and 0.53% or something, right? It wasn't even a full percent. We took that. It started selling off right away. When we got a break of structure, I was like, okay, this is lit. We're looking good, right? And then, got a little worried, but it's clear to understand that if this structure gets broken, then okay, we're breaking structure. But until that doesn't get broken, we're still bearish. So what do I see here? We keep taking bearish trend. We keep pushing bearish trend down. So what does that mean? We're most likely going to come down here, retest these lows and break them. And if we break them, I want to stay in the trade. So that's exactly what we did. Once we broke these structures down here, I took around some profits because we were already up 100%. So why would you not take profit, right? And then I left some runners running. What was I targeting for those runners? These prominent lows, these swing lows. If these swing lows get taken out, I want to push out of my contracts and I want to close my runners. But when we came to retest these, I wanted to see what was going to happen. Because the same scenario that we have up here, that buyers could take in all this space and push us all the way up above 120, right? Sellers could also push us all the way down to 104. So I'm interested. I'm saying, hey, I don't want to miss this big push down if it could happen. So I'm just going to map out my highs and my lows. If we break structure to the upside, I'll close out my runners. If we don't, I'm holding them. what did I notice? A low, a high, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low. We broke prominent lows. We keep selling off. There's no reason why I should sell, right? At somewhere around here, I remember I sold at around like 140, so maybe like here. I saw that buyers slowly started creeping in, volume died low, and I took my profits completely at 600% because there's no reason to be greedy. You're already up 600%. Why are you going to hold it overnight? Why are you going to hold it tomorrow? Tomorrow it could end up red. It could end up break even. Who knows, right? Anything could happen overnight, and there isn't enough confirmation for me yet. Why is that? Because I wanted to see the push higher. So why would I want to hold this if I'm expecting a higher push? Tomorrow, what I'm aiming for and what I want to see in NVIDIA, if we want to push lower and if we want to make that big move all the way down to 102 and fill in the rest of this gap, is going to be a retracement back up to our 50% mark at this imbalance, at this fair value gap. I want to see buyers and sellers fight. If sellers take this and we start pushing down lower, guess what? We break structure on a 1 minute time frame. We create a fair value gap. I'm taking it. I'm setting stops at previous highs, and I'm aiming for these prominent lows, and from there, these swing lows. If we break those swing lows, I'm going to look very carefully, because if we can get under 101, we're going to push the stock 100% under the 100. That 100 mark is going to get dropped, and once that drops, I'm aiming to take full profit, probably at $97. That would be a major sell-off. That would be another 6-8% move in the stock market. Do I think that could happen? Of course it could. Do I think it would happen tomorrow? No. Would I only be bearish prior to earnings? Yes. Am I going to be looking at bearish plays when earnings come? Most likely not. So do I want this to happen? Yes. Why is that? Because around my 90 level, I'm going to buy some shares. And if earnings come out great, guess what's going to happen? That stock market's going to take us right back up to 130, which is my expected move. I think we're going to drop back down to the 90s. We're going to consolidate for a bit. Prior to earnings, a day or so, we're going to see a little bullish push up. And then we're going to take earnings all the way back up. Unless earnings come out horrible and the CEO says something dumb, guess what? Them shareholders are going to be disappointed. With that being said, the members loved it. I know one member talked about his overall account was up like 33%. I know some other members DM'd me privately, and they were really excited with the trade because it was a beautiful play. I mean, it played out gorgeous. There was barely any drawdown. It was pretty fast. It was safe. At no point were you like, oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? It was very well constructed. That big structure that we look for was there, and that's the most important part. That being said, there's a free community linked in the bio. I mean, down below. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. I'll always post updates, news, or whatever, but most importantly, join the community. Even if it's just a free subscription, you'll get so much information there that's valid, whether it's a daily bias, whether it's what I'm looking at, whether it's a hint to my possible trades, whether it's some setup or weekly outlook. It'll be very beneficial for you. Drop a like, drop a follow if you like these kind of videos. With that being said, C Trades is out. All right, you can come.